Today's movie is Love Salvage of Amazon. The story revolves around a man who was determined to travel deep into the dangerous jungles of the Amazon to research ancient artifacts. However, upon arriving, he gets trapped in a mysterious tribe where only women live. These women want him to father their children, and the queen of the tribe falls in love with him. What happens next? How does he try to escape? Let's find out. The story begins with a man named Mason, who is traveling on a boat. He had learned about an ancient tribe deep in the jungle that possessed many prehistoric artifacts. Driven by his curiosity, Mason, along with his friend Will and some local guides, sets out on a research expedition. As they continue their journey, they are suddenly ambushed by river pirates. The pirates attack Mason's boat, and a fierce fight ensues. However, the pirates outnumber them. They also attempt to kill Mason and Will, but the two barely manage to escape, running deep into the jungle. After running for a long distance, they find themselves lost, unsure of their location. Suddenly, Mason starts feeling unwell and collapses to the ground, unconscious. Will panics and soon realizes that Mason has been bitten by a snake during their escape. Determined to save him, Will rushes into the jungle to find medicinal herbs. A while later, Will returns with a herbal remedy and gives it to Mason, which helps him regain some strength. However, Mason is still too weak to move. Realizing the urgency of the situation, Will decides to leave him there and go in search of help. But as time passes, Will does not return. Concerned, Mason decides to look for him on his own. Despite his weakness, he pushes himself forward, calling out for Will. Unfortunately, there is no response. His loud calls, however, attract the attention of wild tribal women living in the jungle. Meanwhile, Mason's condition worsens, and he faints once again. The tribal women, who had been secretly following him, finally reach him. Seeing him unconscious, they carry him back to their hidden village. A little while later, Mason regains consciousness and sees a beautiful girl in front of him named Nina. This surprises Mason, as he wasn't expecting to see someone like her. Nina is actually there to give him medicine, and she tells him to drink it. Mason, still confused, takes the medicine as she instructs. After drinking it, Mason looks around the room and asks Nina for her name. She introduces herself, and soon, it is revealed that Nina is not originally from this tribe. In fact, she came to this jungle 4 years ago as a traveler but was found by the tribal girls after an accident. Since then, they have taken her in and made her a part of their community, where she now works by cleaning and maintaining the place. As Mason and Nina continue their conversation, a few other tribal girls arrive with a large tub and start filling it with water. Mason watches in confusion, not understanding what's happening. Once the tub is full, the girls grab Mason and start pulling him toward it. They also attempt to remove his clothes, but Mason resists as much as he can. However, the girls eventually manage to put him into the tub and begin bathing him. Mason yells loudly in protest, but his cries only attract more girls, who gather around him and seem pleased. Mason grows angry, but he is powerless to stop them. It turns out that all these girls desire to be with Mason, and they begin forcing themselves on him. Desperate to escape, Mason somehow manages to break free and runs into another room, only to find that it is also filled with women. He is shocked and confused, wondering what is happening to him. The women in this room also try to get close to him, but Mason once again struggles and manages to escape. Running into yet another room, he finally encounters another man named Sam. This room is filled with ancient artifacts, which astonish Mason. He asks Sam about the objects and the tribe. Sam explains that he arrived in this jungle 10 years ago but got lost and was eventually captured by the tribal women. Despite his many attempts to escape, he has never been able to leave. Mason then inquires about the ancient artifacts and the tribe's customs. Sam reveals that the artifacts are made of gold and have been in the tribe's possession for thousands of years. He further explains that this tribe consists only of women, and their strict tradition allows only one man to stay in the tribe at any given time. According to their beliefs, if more than one man resides in the tribe simultaneously, the entire tribe will become cursed. So, the girls of this tribe only fall in love with a man who belongs to the tribe, and they only give birth to his children. Sam Mason is told that many girls in the tribe have been with him, and he also has many children here. However, now he has grown weak and no longer has the ability to father children. Therefore, he wants Sam to be with the girls and become the father of their children. Meanwhile, Nina arrives and tells Sam to go to his room. Sam obeys, and once inside, Nina warns him that they cannot talk for long because if someone sees them together, they will get into trouble. Nina is actually an outsider, which is why she cannot openly talk to Mason. As they are talking, a girl named Anna arrives and gets furious upon seeing them together. Anna suspects that they are planning to escape because, as an outsider, Nina is kept as a servant in the tribe. Seeing Anna, Nina tells Mason to go to her to calm her down. Mason follows Nina's advice, but instead of getting close to her, he starts complimenting her. Hearing his words, Tara, another girl, becomes happy and hugs him. However, soon, other girls arrive and start fighting over Mason, each wanting him for themselves. Realizing the danger, Mason seizes the opportunity to escape but is soon caught and brought to a large chamber where the queen of the tribe resides. The queen is stunningly beautiful, and Mason is instantly mesmerized by her. Before Mason can act on his thoughts, the other girls rush to him and embrace him. Seeing this, the queen orders them to step back. 2 bowls are placed in front of Mason, and he is confused about their purpose. A girl then lights a fire in them, and a thick smoke rises. The bowls contained intoxicating substances, and as the smoke fills the room, Mason starts feeling dizzy. Suddenly, every girl in the tribe appears beautiful to him. At that moment, the queen slowly walks toward Mason. After that, Queen and Mason start making love right there, and then the scene shifts to the next day. A large group of people arrives to search for Mason, but the tribal women attack them as well. Meanwhile, Nina quickly informs Mason about the situation. Upon hearing this, Mason realizes that this is the perfect opportunity to escape, so the two of them decide to flee. As they enter another room, they find Sam lying dead, which terrifies them. They quickly try to escape, but just then, Anna arrives, holding arrows. Seeing this, Mason tries to distract her with his words, hoping to deceive her, but it doesn't work. As soon as Anna shoots an arrow at Mason, she misses her target. Taking advantage of the moment, Mason grabs her, and Nina attacks Anna, knocking her unconscious. They leave her there and run towards the jungle. Meanwhile, the tribal women are searching for them in the jungle. While searching, they find Anna unconscious, realizing that Mason is behind this. Furious, they rush into the jungle to catch him. Meanwhile, Mason and Nina have already made it far while running. Suddenly, they spot some tribal women nearby and hide. After a while, when the women leave, they take the chance to run again. This sight horrifies them, but Mason manages to calm Nina down. They continue running but soon encounter the tribal women again, forcing them to hide once more. At this point, Nina tells Mason to cut down a tree. Mason quickly does so, and they apply the tree's sap to their bodies to blend in. This particular tree produces a green dye upon contact. Now completely covered in green, they move ahead unnoticed. After running for some time, they reach a lake. Seeing it, they decide to cross it and finally make it to the other side of the jungle. Now here, Mason and Nina had traveled far away from the tribe, which made them very happy. As they moved ahead, they spotted an island floating in the middle of the river. Seeing this, they quickly made their way to the island. Just then, they heard the sound of a plane flying right above them. The pilot of this plane was none other than Will, who had come searching for Mason. Seeing Will, Mason felt overjoyed. Will then rescued Mason and Nina from there. In the final scene of the movie, we see that Mason and Nina got married and started living happily together in their home. And with that, the movie comes to an end.